Maybe this is something you needed to hear today, not because something is wrong with you, but because you have been giving too much of your energy away without even realizing it. So many times, your mind keeps going back to others, what they think about you, how they see you, what they are doing, and how your life compares to theirs. And slowly, without noticing, you start losing connection with yourself. Your peace becomes dependent on their actions. Your confidence starts to shake based on their opinions, and your happiness begins to feel out of your control. But here is a gentle truth. Your life was never meant to be lived through the eyes of others. You were not created to constantly watch, compare, and adjust yourself just to feel accepted. Every time your focus stays on others, a part of you gets ignored. Your own needs, your own feelings, your own growth, they all get pushed aside. And the more this continues, the more distant you feel from who you truly are. Now imagine something different. Imagine what would happen if you slowly brought your focus back to yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a healing way. A way where you start noticing your thoughts, your emotions, your needs. A way where your energy begins to return to you, instead of being scattered everywhere else. This is where real change begins. This is where healing starts. And this is where you begin to love yourself, not sometimes, but a little more every single day. When your focus is always on others, there is a quiet cost that builds inside you over time. You may not notice it at first, but it slowly starts to affect how you feel about yourself. You begin to compare your life with theirs, your progress with theirs, your happiness with theirs. And in that comparison, you often feel like you are falling behind, like you are not doing enough, or not being enough. This constant looking outward creates a feeling that something is missing within you, even when that is not true. The more you watch others, the more your mind fills with doubts. You start questioning your choices, your path, and even your worth. You begin to wonder if you are doing life the right way based on what you see others doing. And this can make you feel tired, not just physically, but emotionally. It becomes heavy to carry so many thoughts that are not even truly yours. There is also another hidden effect. When your attention is always outside, you stop listening to your own inner voice. The part of you that knows what feels right, what you truly want, and what brings you peace becomes quieter. Over time, you may feel confused or disconnected, as if you do not fully know yourself anymore. All of this happens slowly, without warning. But the truth is, your energy is limited. And when most of it is spent thinking about others, there is very little left for your own growth, your own healing, and your own happiness. There is a deeper reason why your focus often goes toward others, and it is not because you are weak or doing something wrong. It comes from a very natural human need, the need to feel accepted, valued, and loved. From a young age, you may have learned that being liked by others means you are doing well, and being rejected means something is missing in you. So without realizing it, Your mind starts looking outside for approval, hoping to feel secure and enough. Sometimes this need becomes stronger because of past experiences. Maybe there were moments when you felt judged, ignored, or not fully seen. Those moments can stay quietly inside you, shaping the way you think. You begin to pay more attention to how others react, trying to avoid feeling that same pain again. You try to adjust yourself, change small parts of who you are, just to feel safe and accepted. Fear also plays a role here. The fear of being misunderstood, the fear of not fitting in, or the fear of not being good enough. These fears make you more aware of others than yourself. You start watching closely, thinking deeply about their words and actions, and slowly, your focus shifts away from your own truth. But here is something important to understand. The approval you are searching for outside can never fully replace the acceptance you need to give yourself. No matter how much validation comes from others, it will always feel temporary if you do not feel it within. And this is where the shift begins, when you gently start turning that need inward and begin to give yourself the same understanding and kindness you have been seeking from others. There comes a quiet moment when you begin to realize something powerful. Your energy is yours. Your attention is yours, and where you choose to place it will shape how you feel and how you live. For so long, it may have felt automatic to think about others first, to react to their opinions, to measure yourself through their actions. But the moment you become aware of this pattern, something starts to shift inside you. You begin to see that every thought you give to others is energy leaving you. Every time you overthink what someone said or how they see you, you are giving away a piece of your peace. And slowly, you understand that this energy could have been used to build yourself, to understand yourself, to heal parts of you that have been waiting for your attention. This realization is not about blaming yourself for the past. It is about gently waking up to the truth that you have more control than you thought. You can choose where your focus goes. You can decide what deserves your energy and what does not. And this choice, even if it feels small at first, is the beginning of taking your power back. As you start noticing this, you may catch yourself in moments where your mind drifts back to others. And instead of following that habit, you slowly bring it back to yourself, back to your breath, your thoughts, your feelings. This is the turning point. This is where you stop living through others and start returning home to yourself. Now begins a gentle shift where you slowly start bringing your focus back to yourself. This does not happen all at once, and it does not need to be perfect. It begins in small moments, when you notice your mind going toward others, and instead of following that thought, you pause and return your attention inward. You start asking yourself simple questions like, what am I feeling right now? What do I need in this moment? What would bring me a little more peace? At first, this may feel unfamiliar because you are not used to giving yourself this kind of attention. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You begin to notice your thoughts without getting lost in them. You begin to understand your emotions instead of ignoring them. And slowly, a connection starts to grow between you and yourself, a connection that may have been missing for a long time. It is important to remember that this is not selfish. Choosing to focus on yourself is not about ignoring others or not caring about them. It is about caring for yourself enough so that you are not constantly drained. When your energy stays with you, you feel more balanced, more calm, and more in control of your life. With this shift, you also start setting gentle boundaries in your mind. You become more aware of what deserves your attention and what does not. You stop giving your energy to every thought, every opinion, and every situation, and instead, you begin to protect your peace, one small moment at a time. As you begin to bring your focus back to yourself, something very important starts to happen. You become more aware of your inner world. You start noticing your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions in a deeper way. Before, many of these things were happening without your attention, but now you are slowly learning to observe them. And this awareness is where true healing begins. You may start to see patterns in your thinking, like how quickly you judge yourself or how often you doubt your own worth. You may notice emotions that you have been pushing away for a long time, feelings like sadness, fear, or even loneliness. At first, this can feel uncomfortable because you are finally facing parts of yourself that were ignored. But this is not a bad thing. This is a sign that you are becoming honest with yourself. Healing does not come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from understanding what is really happening inside you. When you allow yourself to feel without judgment, you create space for those emotions to move and slowly fade. You stop fighting yourself, and instead, you start supporting yourself. In this process, you also learn to be kinder to yourself. Instead of criticizing every mistake, you begin to respond with patience and understanding. You remind yourself that you are human, that you are learning, and that it is okay to grow at your own pace. This kind of awareness changes everything, because now you are not lost in your thoughts anymore. You are gently guiding yourself through them. Loving yourself daily does not require big changes or perfect routines. It begins with small, simple actions that you repeat with care. It can be the way you speak to yourself when something goes wrong, choosing kind words instead of harsh ones. It can be giving yourself a moment of rest when you feel tired, instead of pushing yourself beyond your limit. These small choices may seem simple, but they slowly change how you feel about yourself. You start treating yourself with the same kindness you give to others. When you make a mistake, you do not rush to judge yourself. Instead, you take a breath and remind yourself that it is okay to learn and grow. When you feel overwhelmed, you allow yourself to pause without guilt. These moments of self-respect build a quiet strength inside you. Self-love also shows up in the way you protect your energy. You begin to say no to things that drain you and yes to things that support your peace. You become more aware of what feels right for you, and you trust that feeling. Over time, this creates a sense of safety within yourself because you know you are taking care of your own needs. The truth is, healing is not something that happens in one big moment. It happens in these small, repeated acts of love that you give yourself every day. And the more you choose yourself in these quiet ways, the more you begin to feel whole, calm, and truly at home within yourself. One of the biggest things that keeps your focus on others is comparison. It happens so easily that you may not even notice it. You see someone else's life, their success, their happiness, and your mind starts measuring your own life against it. And in that moment, you forget something very important. You are not meant to live the same path as anyone else. Comparison creates a feeling that you are behind or not doing enough. It makes you question your progress and doubt your journey. But the truth is, you are only seeing a small part of someone else's life, not their full story. When you compare, you are comparing your real life to someone else's highlights, and that will never feel fair. As you become more aware, you can start letting this habit go. When you catch yourself comparing, you gently remind yourself to come back to your own path. You remind yourself that your growth is happening in its own time, in its own way. There is no race, and there is no need to prove anything to anyone. Letting go of comparison also means letting go of constant judgment, both of others and of yourself. You stop labeling everything as better or worse, ahead or behind. Instead, you begin to accept what is. You begin to trust that your journey is enough, just as it is right now. And in that acceptance, you feel lighter, freer, and more connected to who you truly are. As you continue choosing yourself, something beautiful begins to grow inside you, a sense of inner peace that does not depend on what others are doing or saying. You start to feel calmer because your mind is no longer pulled in many different directions. Your energy is no longer scattered. It is centered within you, steady and grounded. You begin to notice that you react less to things that once disturbed you. Opinions do not shake you as easily, and situations do not feel as overwhelming. This is because you are no longer looking outside for constant validation. You are creating a quiet strength within yourself, where your sense of worth comes from how you treat yourself, not how others see you. Choosing yourself also brings clarity. You understand what truly matters to you, what you want to grow, and what you need to let go of. Decisions become easier because they are no longer based on fear or comparison, but on what feels right for you. This clarity allows you to move through life with more confidence and trust. And in this space, you feel safe within yourself. You are not chasing approval or trying to fit into expectations. You are simply being who you are without pressure. This is where real peace lives, not in controlling the outside world, but in feeling steady within your own. And the more you choose yourself each day, the deeper this peace becomes. As you reach this moment, take a gentle breath and remind yourself of everything you have just felt and understood. You are not here to live your life through the eyes of others. You are here to know yourself, to care for yourself, and to grow into the person you are meant to be. Every time you bring your focus back to yourself, every time you choose kindness over criticism, and every time you let go of comparison, you are healing in a real and powerful way. You do not need to rush this journey. You do not need to be perfect. All you need is the willingness to return to yourself again and again. Even on the days when it feels hard, even when old habits come back, you can always pause, breathe, and choose yourself one more time. That is enough. You are enough just as you are in this very moment. So carry this with you. Your energy is yours, your peace is yours, and your love can begin within you every single day. And if this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who may need it, and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that supports your healing, your growth, and your journey back to yourself.